I know she's there.
Great Tuesday morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas. And let me say, guys, is the now the weather. Oh, it's nice and cool, man.
We
And nice
forgot that segment yesterday.
and forgot. I was so excited to be back that we literally forgot the weather. But it was a good show last night, man. As the I appreciate Frank coming on, and one of the things that I think that and Frank and we talked about afterwards was he goes, man, he goes, sometimes I felt like I needed to duck back and forth, and I said, hey, we said it wasn't going to be, it's not the what's your favorite kind of ice cream questions,
Yeah.
people don't care what type of
It's
ice
the type
cream.
of things that's gonna put you against the wall type of deal. Like you gotta choose, man, left or right or something.
Something. And
There's not always an easy answer.
there's not always an easy answer, but one of the things that I think that we could get, I'm tired of all the bull crap talk, and I'm tired of all the talking little points. I'm talking about the little bullet points that everyone wants to meet. And you saw them, Sam. You went out there and researched the candidates that were running for that race. All of them have the no abortion, fiscal responsibility, and it's just the same thing. We already know what the Republican Party stands for. Don't care. I don't think anyone cares anymore. What we care about is what the hell are you going to do for me?
Yeah, what steps are you gonna take to take care of that?
Yeah, what are you going to do for my family? How are you going to put an extra plate of food on my table? How am I going to vacation once a month like Erasmo Castro?
Put me on that list.
It was funny because Frankie came by yesterday, and it was funny because I said, well, we're talking a little bit, and I said, you know what, Frankie, I think I'm going to tone it down a little bit this year, and I'm only going to, I'm only going to travel 1 week out of every month. He goes, you do know no one does that, right?
That's the norm, right? This ain't Europe where you can just jump from water and you're in a different country. Well,
The
yeah, kind of, but not multiple countries.
badge. Hold on, let me see.
But now he did have really good points as far as like I guess helping out schools and other things.
Yeah, and let me say one of the things that I hope that most candidates out there is to realize, you know, you don't have to be, in line with everything that your party out there stands for or believes. You
Yeah,
have to represent your people. And let me say that it's one
it's
of the things.
because they think that if you're not part of the Republican or Democrat, you got to be an independent, and it just throws you out there like in the middle of nowhere,
Well,
and that does it for you.
yeah. Well,
They're like you're on your own.
let me say, because yesterday we were talking about the Republicans, and again, it's not and please don't come out here and give me that. Oh, well, Erasmo is just supports the Republicans. I don't care for either party, and I hope that I sort of proved it last night by going like, yeah, get out of that little shell, And let me say, for all of the Trumper Republicans out there, a lot of the folks that are out there running on the Republican ticket, they want to associate a little bit with Donald Trump. And I say this because I saw George Bush, no, George Patrick Bush, who is ah
George P. Bush.
George P. Bush. He's running for Attorney General of the state of Texas, current land commissioner. And one of the things that he went out there and said was, going to on his commercial, going to finish Trump wall. They want to associate with Donald Trump, and I understand that they want to appeal to
They want to be Trumpsters.
to the Trumpers, to Trump supporters out there, and I think that's
Yeah.
very, very smart. But with that said, guys, I think that they missed the whole message, and I think this happens with everyone. They miss the entire message, and the entire message is that Trump didn't win as a Republican. I mean, goodness
He went on
gracious,
his own ground, like based
yeah,
on his own things.
Trump didn't win as a Republican. I mean, he made a run on the Republican ticket. He didn't win as a Republican. I mean, if you were looking for a Republican, then Jeb Bush would have been your guy,
He
man.
just needed something to run by, not just anything besides independent or libertarian.
Yeah, I mean, no, and Jeb Bush was the Republican, you know, the el dedazo. He was the one that should have been the candidate, and everyone
Yeah.
thought Jeb Bush, governor of Florida. Republicans need to win Florida. Usually for the presidential election, you have to win Florida. And
Yeah.
Jeb Bush was the governor of Florida, a pretty popular governor there. So everyone thought that he was going to follow in his brother's footsteps in regards to being, from a red state, going to be the nominee for the Republican Party. He did
But you know
horrible.
what, man? It's crazy because when all the, I guess, the casting of the votes and the polling and all that stuff, when he won, everybody was shocked. They're like, "Oh my god, this guy won!" And
They
then,
were.
yeah, and then because they weren't expecting it, like, okay, we're gonna go for this guy, but we weren't expecting it. And then when he does for re-election, like, this guy's gonna win, and then he loses, and everybody's like, "What the heck's going on?" Like everything's been a shocker with this guy, but
Everything, and that's just Donald Trump. And let me say, I sort of knew that he was going to win the Republican nomination. I mean, the guy was always in the center, Sam.
yeah,
Always in the center, and that's because of the percentage in regards to the popularity out there. He was always in the center, and they should have read the writing on the wall, and that's why everyone on that ticket was focusing on Trump, 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 Trump. It wasn't because he was a Republican. Actually, a lot of the Republican candidates called him out for not being a Republican. I don't know if you remember, but I watched all the
yeah.
forums,
Because I
all the
know the first time he ran, like the previous election before that, and yeah, because he had run before. I don't know if you recall that when he lost the first time. And how
he
many
didn't run
people remember? Huh?
for president.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Do Google it. He had ran before and he lost it, but it was because he didn't know the ins and outs of politics. And then when he just regrouped everything, and then this time he came around, um, he came like way stronger. But that's because he had his people, like he had his people of like doing the
Pásale.
research.
Uh, yeah, he didn't run before. I'll bet you $20 right now.
Go for it.
20
Google
bucks?
it. Google it.
No, $20. 20
Google it.
bucks says that he didn't run to be president before.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, good. We're on a bet, guys. Can someone tell Tad how wrong he is? Good morning. Good morning. Let's get to the comments. Good morning. Good morning. I'm waiting for Marisa Leal. Let me say, as of right now, if let's say there is a race right now between Marisa and Minerva, there's no doubt you have to vote for Marisa. We're going to see who else. But if we're talking about the 2022 November race, I want to see who else is on there, because I love Marisa to death. Pásenle hasta acá atrás. I love Marisa to death. For me, this is not personal in regards to local politics. It's business. And I want the best candidate out there. Hasta acá atrás. I'm fighting for you. You are? Really?
And then before we proceed, man, make sure you like that YouTube video.
Yes. Guys, we got 18 people supposedly on YouTube, and only 3 people have liked it. I haven't even liked it yet.
Is anybody even searching how many times he ran for politics for presidential candidate? No.
I think everyone knows you're wrong, Sam.
I think you're wrong.
I know I'm
right.
right.
I'm gonna enjoy those $20. I'm gonna tell you that much. I'm not gonna tell you where.
I'll raise it to $25.
Yes, that.
That's that. $25, guys. And I'm going to show you the $25 that Sam brings me, if he ever pays me.
I'm gonna go personally and give you a money order.
Don't give me a personal check, though, please. I know, super late. And how dare you wear that? What you're wearing? Yeah, I don't know why Sam has to wear T-shirts all the time.
He goes with the background.
Prescott, Loita, I'm understanding half of what you're posting. Uh, so were you guys
Throw
able
me
to
out
discuss
here.
Roy Dos Santos making threats towards a small business owner? These elected leaders only come out when they are called out if the shoe fits. No, but hopefully tonight we should have a. I don't think that we have anyone lined up tonight to do the political talk thing. So we should get down and dirty with Mr. Los Santos tonight. Samuel.
Yeah, that was it is well that's separate from the emails, but it was more like he was going on behalf of Sombrero Festival and Mr. What's his last name again? Victor's? Not Victor. What's this guy's name? Is it Trevino?
Ándale,
Yeah,
atrás.
Trevino. Um,
Arturo.
it was just being, I guess, like was whenever he has events, I guess he didn't have that whole ribbon cutting and whatnot. I'm
Or
assuming.
whatnot.
So when it was a ribbon cutting for Stripes, everybody and their mother showed up, you know,
Uh-huh.
and that's like, and that's the way they're able to keep their tacos kind of low prices because of the whole gasoline and all that stuff.
And
So
whatnot.
this guy's like, hey, help out and whatnot. So help out like the small businesses. And this guy was like, hey, like tread carefully what you're saying, you know, because it's not just city members. We're coming as like Sombrero Festival, you know, because they gave
What about
$1,000 to Sombrero Festival.
what's your take in regards to the Sombrero Festival?
My take on Sombrero Festival, it's gonna be hella busy, and packed, and not too sure if there's gonna be distance between each other. The traffic is gonna be crazy. Um, People are gonna be charging 10, $15 to park in their parking lot. Um, and that's about it. And I have no idea where this guy just went to.
I'm here, but I actually had someone come in
Not
the
for the
office,
weather.
and I expected that you would roll with it
The what?
because I had someone walk into the office, so I expected. I said, "Well, Sam could probably roll with a sombrero fest since that's all he's been talking to me about."
No, it's gonna happen no matter what. And there
It's
might
gonna
be
happen.
some surprises.
There's no doubt whatsoever that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it's going to happen because of economics, because it's what puts money into their pockets. I mean, it literally puts money into their pocket. So, of course, they're going to have it. There's no way. They don't care. Look, they don't care about coronavirus. They don't care about COVID. They don't care about anything. They care about making money, folks. All this crap about all this testing stuff and all these sites and all these vaccinations, it's bull crap. And I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated with it. I'm not believing it anymore because it's bull crap. We've been lied to. And one of the things that frustrated me the most was in regards to this mask use, constantly mask use, mask use, mask use. I'm done. It's over. Forget it. Throw it out the window, guys. It's done. Now, the city of Brownsville has a choice. Are they really, really for the health, the well-being, and security of the people of Brownsville as to what they say? And if that is the case, then they should cancel Sombrero Fest. They should cancel it because it's going to be a super spreader. There's no way that people are going to be wearing their masks out in public. There's no way, Sam, I don't know if you've ever been to Sombrero Fest, that there's going to be any form or shape of social distancing. No. So what is it? Are we concerned about the health and well-being of the people, or are we more concerned about the money? Which one is it? Because everything else, they want to intrude in your life and say, this is what you have to do. This is what you can't do. Everything, except when it's hurting their pocket, then it's like, well, it's going to be okay. It's personal responsibility.
Yeah. Once you touch the money, it's like, it's okay.
Once you touch their pocket, it goes to crap. There's 27 people watching the ribbon cutting for the libraries and BISD library. Yeah. And it's 27 people from the same campus. And let me say, congratulations. And I'm glad you brought this up. Congratulations to Maggie. Maggie is out there, kicking some butt, for BISD, for the students and for her school. And, she's going to come out on the ribbon cutting ceremony for the, I was going to say Castañeda. It is a Castañeda, isn't it? No, not Castañeda. What school does she work in? The one out here on International.
Canales?
Canales. Yeah, for Canales Elementary. Great job, Maggie. Sorry, I forgot about your school. But, and of course, it's a great accomplishment. But it's because of the leadership that Maggie showed and the push that she's done. She's going out there and doing free libraries throughout the city of Brownsville. What have any of these board members done? Jack squat. Nothing. Zip. What has administration done? Absolutely nothing except demoralize a staff, student, and even parents now are starting to get demoralized. It's ridiculous. And again, this is what you voted for, guys. This is what the city voted for. So, more power to you.
But once it comes to like running, they'll say that they were in so many events.
Oh
But
yes.
right now,
Oh,
but right
sí,
now we
no,
need them.
cállate.
There's
Oh no, we
nowhere to
were
be seen.
great. We were wonderful. We did everything for the people. It's all for the children.
They
That's what
can't
this
even reply to a single comment.
is. I'm going to Villahermosa this weekend. I'll be back Monday. 2, 3, crap. 3, 4. Oh, I have to go to Matamoros anyway. 2, 3, 4, 5. I should be back in town like at 6 or 7 o'clock at night. Perfect. I'm trying to figure out my schedule for next week. 2022, time for a pandemic. Let's go. Let's get Minerva on. Yeah, I don't think she's going to come on. Donald Trump has been a presidential candidate 3 times. In 2000, 2016, 2020. He's also unofficially campaigned in 2012 and molded a run for 2004. No.
He wasn't successful like the previous times, like in the one for 2012. But he did run a couple of times.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't believe it. Hey, Tafiq, my man. Share the YouTube channel, bro. I think he's out there in Palestine, in Palestina. Go share the YouTube channel, bro. I love you, bro. I love you. Good morning. So who will be Mr. Amigo? Elon Musk. Nice discussion. It's better on YouTube, bro. It makes me money.
Elon Musk is going to show up as a Western cowboy.
Huh?
Elon Musk is going to show up as a California cowboy.
That's a scary thought. What about the sombrero fish? Has outgrown the venue. Money. It's all about the money, Wendy. And we all know it. It's all about the cash. They don't care. They ultimately don't care. I'm asking right now up here, and I can assure you the kids are not learning anything. Teachers don't even leave the students' work behind. This year, it's over in my eyes as long as I get my $200 a day, 100%. I believe 13, like, nominate Musk for Mr. Amigo. Trex will nominate Musk. Yeah, I think so too. All about the money, 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 money. Greetings from Afghanistan. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you were from Palestine. Greetings from everyone in Afghanistan that's watching. Guys in Afghanistan, look up the channel on YouTube. I want all of Afghanistan to watch on YouTube. Is that, Sam, is
so
that
you
too
can
much?
see all the nonsense that happens in Brownsville, Texas.
Sam, is that too much to ask? That I want all Afghanistan?
You never know. You might bring some business from over there.
Hey.
We're one of the top locations for world bird watching.
Afghanistan?
No, South Texas.
Oh, right.
People over here, bro. Not from here over there.
You know what the fastest bird in Afghanistan is?
Which one?
Chicken.
Why?
Because it doesn't want to get eaten.
You are something else.
I love Afghanistan. Tafiq, I love the name. Mawaid. Tafiq Mawaid. It's a beautiful name. Beautiful man, too. I believe Trex will nominate Musk for Mr. Amigo. Yeah, we saw that. I think so, too. Saludos a todos. Bendiciones para todos. Hey! Baba! This is Cornelio, my man. A great guy. Used to be a coach out here at Stell, and right now is in Eagle Pass. ¿Lista? Eagle View.
Is that where the lady from the Landin, Melissa?
Yeah, Melissa Landin. Okay. Yeah. This is Melissa Landin's husband.
Eagle Lake.
Eagle Lake. I have no faith in BISD elections. Sam, can you give me a minute?
Yeah.
Talk about something.
Just read this or what? I don't. Nobody says he's gonna win. You, Frankie, and Carlos got cheated. I'm done with BISD election. Pretty much. And go. Let me see. Go to the next. Uh, I can't even switch the comments, but it says Sam Western Cowboy Back to the Future Part 3, where Marty wears the cowboy's outfit. Pretty much that's what I meant. Candice Creasy, good morning. And then Tafiq from Afghanistan says appreciate you. Ray Martinez says good morning, Cheese and Sam. Have a fantastic day just well. Um, Cornelio was correcting Erasmo. Eagle Lake. Um, and then says, what's up with Hannah High School? Is it Hugh Hefner's second home? Everywhere you turn, those is that what they go for? The portables. You're gonna be doing that. You gotta go to portables. Tafik says that he follows the page. Really enjoy it. And today at Carolina's is Mole Day, and I heard that she makes it from scratch. Today's Wednesday. What's today? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And we're caught up with the comments. 52 degrees now for the weather. But yeah, going back to the emails, I'm gonna go more into detail, but that'll be into the evening. It does get a little bit, I guess, complicated as far as the details, but hopefully it'd be something that we'll be able to, I guess, be not well. I guess said in public or share with the public. Both of your friends that you can help us. Okay. But yeah, going back to the Sombrero Festival, it's too packed. I know that they're already trying to get vendors or competitors for the cooking contest, and that they're going to spread out the people. But it's just a money making.
Sam, did you get nervous?
Kind of. I couldn't control the messages.
It's not easy. Oh, let me see. Go back. I have no faith in any more elections. I don't. Marisa is going to win. El 31. Lo ya no me da un mensaje, cualquier cosa. I have clients talking in. I tell you. I maintain myself busy. I know people think that I don't work. Sam Western Cowboy, Back to the Future 3, where Marty works. You got that one. Good morning. Good morning. Candace Hermosa. Appreciate you, Papa. Good morning, Cheese and Sam. Have a fantastic day. You too. Eagle Tech.
Eagle Lake.
Why I always want to say Eagle Pass?
The closest one. The most, not popular, but the most common one.
Eagle Lake. You can call me only Tafik. Beautiful name. Mawaid. I like Mawaid, though. But I'll call you Tafik. What's up with the Hannah High School? It is a Hugh Hefner's second home. Everywhere you turn, todo. But it's always been that way. Isn't it, Sam?
I was telling them, like, that's what the portables are for. You got to go out there.
But you know what really trips me out is like how less creative kids are now to do things. Because I remember back then, everyone at Hannah would smoke pot. Everyone. And they would go to the little lake and, they'd huddle in and, they'd be standing next to the portables back there, Sam. And you knew they were smoking pot. You could smell it a mile away.
No fue la Hannah. No sé.
¿Tuviste la Hannah?
No.
Oh, I went to Porter. The Porter was worse.
Los de la Porter, you just go home.
Smoke it in front of grandma.
Yeah. To the.
I follow your page. I follow your page. I really enjoy. Thank you, Tafik. YouTube. Today is Mole Days at Carolina's. Let me tell you, Carolina's has got some good food. It really does. You just reminded me. I have to send Maggie some books for the free little libraries. Maggie, when you watch this, I got you. I'm waiting for the King Kong, and then I'll send you some books. Maggie is doing the ribbon cutting. She does a great job. in this time, I wanted to ask both of you friends if you can help me and my family, much as you can, even with $50 or less or more, because we are in terrible here in Afghanistan. Let me tell you, I do the same thing. I ask for $50 or less because that's why I have that YouTube channel, because I want people to send me money. Nobody sent me any money today, bro. My suggestion is maybe start a show like this, and I'll watch your show if you watch mine. And the feature show, tell us. And now for the feature story. Tell us, and don't forget the weather. We already did the weather, Royal. I'm surprised that Royal knows all these people like that are running for Congress and stuff. And Royal gets all the great guests. I just get
Because
Sam.
it's because you don't get time to talk to them. But nah, I wouldn't. Like, I don't
And
know.
whatnot.
If you wanted to get involved with the whole political side, then yeah, you'll try to like mingle, but then you'd be all like in twixt with them.
I just got
The
Sam.
emails that we're talking about is Roy de los Santos emails, Nelda, that was asked for clarification regarding his chief of staff.
Yeah. So we go into war, yes or no? I'm going to say no. I think this what Biden is doing in regards to sending the troops, well, not troops right now, but getting ready to send the troops, sending a lot of hardware to the Ukraine. I just think it's just a show of political muscle. This is what I fear is going to happen. I fear that Russia is not going to be fooled, and Russia, what they're going to do is ultimately going to go, "Oh yeah, well we're going in,"
And
and then what's going to happen
you
is
don't mess around with Putin.
Biden,
You don't mess around with Putin.
you don't mess around with Putin. Let me tell you. And then because Putin is not going to back down. He is
No.
not the type of individual. So like it's completely been misread. And I think Biden thinks that because a lot of individuals want to see United States involvement, thinks that well, this is what we should do. What's going to happen, and going to call it, what's going to happen is that United States is going to back down. It's like, remember Sam when este Barack Obama. When Barack Obama put the line in the sand and told us North Korea, do not cross this line or else there'll be consequences. No, hombre, King Jong Un. I mean, he ran circles around that damn line. Nothing happened. They backed down. So I think President Biden is basically going to do the same thing. He's going to go in there and go like, "This is the line. Do not cross it, Putin." And Putin's
Yeah,
going to.
but what are the details regarding the Ukraine and Russia? What's the whole ordeal?
Well, Russia seems to feel that Ukraine belongs to Russia, and they have sovereign territory on them. I think that's the whole thing. It's the same thing with Taiwan and China. I don't think that they've ever recognized them as independent.
Okay.
More than anything, and again, I might be wrong. I think it has to do with the oil fields. Russia is very protective of things that belong to them, or
Yeah.
they feel that they belong to them. And I think it's some resources out there that they're fighting for. They don't
But
care.
I'm like, do you think it should be like a different entity that should be going in, not just the United States every time?
Well,
Like,
United
don't
States.
they have those talks with like the United Nations and all that stuff? Like, don't they have like the G groups for that?
Oh, United States is the police of the
I know, but it
police of the
shouldn't be
country.
just the United States. It
Oh,
should be like the G8 type of
well,
deal.
that's what the NATO is all about. But
Yeah.
again, and people call me crazy. I was glad that President Trump went out there and said, "Hey, pay your share. You know, pay your share," because United States funds NATO like 75, 80%. Nobody else was funding anything, and Trump went,
Crazy.
"Hey, mochate," you know.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. And look, guys, as much as I love my dentist, and I love him a lot. Yo le digo, he goes, "Hey, order me some stuff for." No, I'm serious. Order me some stuff from for the cars, because he likes cars. He's got a thing for cars. He likes them fast, quickies, and and so he goes, "Cóbreme la guarda." Sure, mochate, you know. I mean, cash, I said, break down with some cash. I guess it sounded kind of weird, right?
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause the whole Ukraine and Russia thing is going on, and then at the same moment, you have that whole ordeal of the fence in front of the White House, the temporary fence or wall. That's also going on, which is like the so-called like people thinking that it's going to go into civil war uh, during the elections of this coming year. So,
Yeah. So
so
NATO,
that's
much
why
of it.
people are being all skeptical about everything.
Yeah, it's got a package. Well, we're waiting for Morgan Lamantia. I just got myself a new package. Oh, it's my Mandarin coat. My Mandarin coat. I love it. Does that look amazing? I should try it on. So, since we're waiting for Lamantia, I'm going to try it on. What about the Crossroads event? Sam, did you ever go to the Crossroads event?
I sure didn't. I think it was just certain people that went to the Crossroads. I know it was more supposed. It's supposed to be more like networking, um, but I know that there's several groups out there already like trying to network with each other. I'm trying to recall that other Brownsville group, the Leadership Brownsville. I know they do their own thing regarding networking,
Leadership Brownsville.
but
I
it's
love the
all
color.
the same people.
It looks good, right?
Yeah, you can say.
Awesome. I don't think they were going to have another Crossroads event. Let me tell you, after the losing like $275,000 to a piece of crap that did nothing for the city, I don't think that they were just going to have another one. I just don't think it's going to happen. But
Well, they pay a lot of money for consulting fees, which garners nothing.
nothing. El Padre Cheese. Better than a priest.
El padre no tan padre.
El Padre, super Padre. Buenos días, Elvira, hermosa, buenos días. The back Resaca area.
For Hannah.
How about go fund my bus? What do I want from Whataburger? What would be good?
Breakfast in a bun.
A breakfast burger. They have a breakfast burger. Have you tried those?
I think so.
With toasted buns. I like
Is
my
that
buns.
is that your favorite nephew?
No, it's actually a friend of mine that's I get food a lot. Now my favorite nephew doesn't he doesn't bring me food. He comes to take money to go get food for himself. And it's kind of funny because then he goes out there and he's advertising for his mom and goes like, "Oh, go to my mom's business because she gives me food." I said, "Beep. The one that gives you food is your tío. I'm the one that you come out here and take money from." And I'm still waiting for
They might find him guilty by association.
maybe. Royal knows people all over the world. He does, man. I don't know how the hell Royal does it, but Royal knows everybody.
You see, that's what happens when you go to tournaments all over, like national tournaments from chess. You start meeting people.
That's when when you're a chess master like Royal. Amazing. Thanks for the clarification.
No problem.
Love you.
And he gets intense.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Traffic Moabit. I love you. We should concern ourselves with our country and our people, not some third world country misfits. Preach, brother.
It's what's inside that it has the United States kind of like, we might be interested in it.
Did you guys hear about the truck full of monkeys that crashed? Apparently, according to the CDC, they were contaminated.
Yeah, but apparently they got all of the monkeys. Apparently,
monkeys seem to give us everything. They gave us supposedly AIDS, coronavirus.
Was it coronavirus for the monkeys? I thought
No,
it was bad.
it was a bat. Same thing.
It was a bat monkey.
They look the same. Take the price tag off. I just got it in the mail. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's going to fit perfectly in my ensemble of wacky wear.
Thank you for calling it wacky.
Wacky.
I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
Do you think a political cycle will get nastier or civil now that more people are watching on social media? It's actually a great question. I'm not
My
sure,
take,
man.
nastier.
I think I don't know. I think everyone wants to express an opinion, and that's great. Coming onto social media and expressing and being a Facebook warrior, or is great. Back it up with your vote and being a part and boots to the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that's what that's what really really matters at the end of the day. And I encourage everyone out there, become a part of the electoral process, and you become a part of the electoral process by actually going out there and encouraging other people to vote, registering people to vote. I mean, you've got a couple more days to register people to vote, and guys, you have to become a part of the process.
Yeah. You can't just expect for the people to like, oh, okay, yeah, the one we were hoping got the position or won the office. You gotta like, it literally takes a lot to get people going. Like, it's what I was seeing that it was like the amount of people that vote here in Brownsville is like what, 8% out of 180,000 that are registered. Only like 8% of them vote, if at all. Your voice. Okay, well, never mind. I'm like, again. It's on mute.
Rookie mistake. So used to answering the phone that she wanted to answer my phone.
Yes, I thought it was my phone ringing. I was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm interrupting the show."
What I think is amazing is that we have the same ringtone. And guys, I'm sorry. I apologize. We have Morgan Lamantia, who is running for a state senate.
Yes, sir. State Senate for District 27.
27, and that's our district here. And it's great to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, it's an honor. And let me say, why enter politics?
Right. So that's a question I've been asked a lot, and even my family sometimes thinks I'm a little crazy, but they're supportive. I went to business school and got my law degree. I practiced law here in the community for about 5.5 years, and then started working for my family business. And one of the first things we do is tackle healthcare. And I saw a lot of the issues we have in our healthcare system, and it became really frustrating. But we were able to work within the system to make it easier for our employees, make healthcare more accessible, more affordable. And in addition to that, education's always been a priority for my family. My grandfather started a scholarship fund 20 years ago that's helped put college within reach for over 17,000 students. But there's so much more in education that we need to do, especially in the K through 12. They need more funding. Teachers need more salaries. And when this seat opened up, which it hadn't been in over 20 years, I saw it as an opportunity to not just affect those who I worked with with my family's business, and not just those who are going to college through the scholarship program, but a way to help and give back to the entire district and the community as a whole, and try to make things better for everyone that lives in this district and our neighbors.
Well, and let me say, I know that you've been to other forums. One of the things that I think that really I can appreciate is candidates that are not coming from the same political machine that has existed here. One of the things that I think I share regularly is that I feel that we've been stagnant for far too long, and it's about time that a lot of us, who are part of this community, as to start doing our part. We were just talking about becoming part of the electoral process with Matthew. We need more individuals to get involved and say, you know what, let me see what I can do for my community. And I can appreciate that this is your first time running for office.
Yes, sir.
And not part of the corrupt political machine, as I tend to label it. Because I think a lot of us fear that our political machines that have been in existence have failed us as a community. So thank you so much for throwing your hat in the ring, and thank you so much for coming on this morning, because we do have a couple of questions. And one of the things that Sam and I were talking about earlier is that we're not the what's your favorite type of ice cream type of questions. So it's going to be an interesting question, and you have an option of going to different other forums out there, and they're not going to ask questions. But I have a couple of questions in regards to some of the stances that you've shared that you're for and against. One of them, and I'll mention this one because we were talking about Marisa's race recently in regards to SB1 and changes, which the changes that have been brought forth to our voting laws. What is your stance on SB1?
So if SB1 came up if it was my ability, if I was a senator at the time, I wouldn't have voted for it. I would have voted against it. I think anything that makes it harder for an individual to go out and exercise their right to vote is not something that's good for our community or good for our citizens. I think it should be made easier. And I think there are ways to make voting easier and more accessible without impugning the integrity of the voting system. And we've seen that in other states. And some of the laws that they passed, restricting hours, restricting voting days, requiring ID and photo identification, and those aspects, I think, are unnecessary restrictions that really put a lot of, obstacles in the way of people in our community for voting. And I don't think that should be the case.
Now, would you agree that there should be some type of voting reform to meet, I guess, the individuals who are supportive of it, to meet them halfway? And I make mention of this because as of recent, the state party chair for the Democratic Party, has recently, apparently, as of yesterday, won a lawsuit, trying to overturn an election because of voter fraud. So can we agree that voter fraud does exist, and some measures need to be taken to protect the sanctity of the vote?
Very much so. So in my business, one of the things that I do now is we look at the data and the facts of our sales, and we make decisions based on those facts and best interests of the community. And so I think these decisions need to be made not on emotion or passions that you may feel, but the facts in front of us. And so we need to look at those issues where there is voter fraud, if it does happen, and address those specific instances and issues based on the actual facts that exist. And then we do need to pass laws. We need to make sure that the integrity of the voting system stands up and holds up. But it needs to be based on facts and not emotions or a political party's agenda.
Sam, anything other on SB1?
No, she pretty much covered it all.
Good. And let me say, I agree with Ms. Lamantia, or I can call you Morgan. I agree with Morgan as that, something has to be done. And I think that, we need to make sure that where there can be some type of compromise, compromise be made. But with that said, the other issue that I know that you've made mention of is in regards to SB 8. in regards to abortion. And let me say this: back 2 years ago, we did have one of your opponents on, and we asked the questions uh, uh, in regards to abortion and her stance on abortion, and we came to the conclusion that the candidate, and I won't mention her name, and just not going to mention her name, but the candidate had, took a very, very firm stance in regards to, I am 100% for abortions. When my concern with her then, and it's something I'll ask you now, is we live in a community that is different from most other communities throughout the country when it comes to being on the Democrat platform concerning abortion. We live in a community where a lot of folks, even Democrats, are pro-life. How do you balance that, being a candidate for the Democratic Party here in South Texas?
Right. So, like many people in this district and in this community, I grew up in the Catholic faith and strong beliefs in my faith as well. But I also grew up with 4 other sisters. So, in a family of 5 girls, we grew up to be strong, independent, and taught to be able to make our own decisions and understand, do the research, and get the facts, make the decisions. And our family respected us for those. And I think we need to respect women's decisions. We need to respect women's intelligence and autonomy. And this law, SB 8, I think it goes about it in completely the wrong way. It turns vigilantes against women who are in a situation where they're already vulnerable. It puts doctors and medical care, on alert, and they're scared and they're closing down shops. And I think the last thing this community needs is less healthcare and less access to doctors and medical facts and less options available to them. I would not have voted for SB 8 because of the way it does that, and because I believe it's unconstitutional. But at the same time, the real issue is that SB 8 isn't going to stop abortions. It's just going to create alternative means that are unsafe and unhealthy and put women at risk. It also prevents issues when there's incest or rape or real medical concerns that affect a woman's life. And in Texas, we have a very high maternal death rate. We have fetal death rates and that just are much higher than other parts of the country. And we need to focus on those issues. We need to make sure that women are healthy, that the babies are healthy. I think another aspect that this avoids, the abortion part becomes so politicized that we ignore the fact that some of the reasons women make these decisions is because they don't have the resources available to them to help with the child. We need to make sure that healthcare is affordable, that they have options after having birth, that they have affordable childcare. There are people and resources out there to help them raise their families. And we need to make sure that these kids are being born into strong, loving families where they're safe and are well fed and are taken care of. I think there are so many other aspects regarding birth rates and children and families that we are not addressing because we're taking on this political aspect of abortions, which really needs to be seen as a medical care issue.
No, I agree. I think we need to get politics out of doctors' offices.
Right.
And one of the things that I think that we've shared is that you go with the experts,
Mhm.
and the experts in regards to healthcare are most definitely not politicians. But a lot of the funding that comes from politicians, and do your best to try and prioritize what is the greatest need for the community that you're representing. Uh, on that, what is the greatest need that our community here locally is going to want Morgan Lamantia to fight for up in Austin, Texas?
With this community, we're running over 7 different districts, 7 different counties, excuse me, and there isn't one single issue, but a lot of the issues are the same all across all 7 counties. It comes down to healthcare. It needs to be more accessible, more affordable. Education. Our teachers need to be paid more. We're having a teacher shortage. Our schools are struggling, and we need to support them. And then the other issue is economic development. This area is the future of Texas. We have so many new industries coming down here. We have so many people coming down and wanting to live in our areas. And we really need to support our small businesses as well, because they really are the job creators. They're the ones that help and support our families. But in addition to those issues, one of the top of mind topics that is in front of everyone whenever I go out and talk to people in the community, whether political leaders or then our neighbors. It's drainage and infrastructure. Drainage is a really big topic, a very big issue, and it's not getting the attention it deserves because it's not splashy, it's not getting the headlines. But every time it rains, we all get scared. Our home's going to flood. We're not going to be able to get to the hospital. We're not going to be able to get to and from work or do our jobs. And that's not something that we should need to worry about every single time there's a little bit of precipitation, because down here we have rain and we have hurricanes, and we need to make sure that we're prepared for those types of situations.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it has been one of our outcries for a while in regards to the flooding here. But then would you agree to say that for the past, I don't know, 20, 30 years, our local politicians have failed us in regards to addressing a lot of these issues that we've had for decades?
So I don't know if they've failed us, but I know that it is a long-term project. It's going to take 10 years or so to fix this issue. But what we need to do is we need to get everyone to work as a region, as a community, because we need Hidalgo, Willacy, and Cameron to work together. And in the northern part of the district, we need Beeville and San Patricio and Oasis to work together, because rain hits one area and it moves. Water doesn't care about city borders, county borders. It'll go where it needs to go. And so we need all three communities to come together, work together for a regional plan, and then at the state level, make sure we have the funding for it and we have the participation of TxDOT and the Water Board.
Well, one of the things that I think that we've addressed with TxDOT is in regards to, coming down and paying a little bit more attention to our area. And I actually had a conversation with the director of TxDOT, and the director of TxDOT basically stated, well, we didn't know that y'all had a problem. And I'm going like, what?
Right.
And my stance on it, and my conclusion was that our local elected politicians, had not intervened for us, suffice, had not fought for us in regards to getting the resources down here that our community needs. And I'll give you one example, very, very clear-cut example. The grass that grows around the expressway. When we have addressed the issue in regards to it looks horrible down here and doesn't look horrible in other places, as our local elected politicians tend to say, well, it's TxDOT. It's always somebody else's fault. And I said, well, yeah, but as an elected official, I said, get on the damn phone and give them a call, because this is your community. You need to fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
How will Morgan Lamantia fight for our community? Brownsville, Texas. And again, I know that you're running a 13-county district, but we are more concerned about Brownsville, Texas, than we are about Hidalgo. And no disrespect to Hidalgo or anybody else, but how is Morgan Lamantia going to be a fighter for Brownsville, Cameron County, up in Austin?
So, to the first part of your question, spoke about TxDOT. So my point is, we're going to work with TxDOT. We're not going to be fighting against them, because then it just gets into a debate and you get landlocked. But we need to work with them. So having an open line of communication and talking with them about the issues. And I don't ever want to be in a situation where they say, oh, we weren't aware. I want to make sure they are very aware of all the issues we have that we need addressed here in Brownsville and in the area, whether it's drainage or clearing out the culverts under the TxDOT highways and making sure that drainage is able to flow from one side of the road to the other, and keeping our grass mowed, keeping it looking nice, because Brownsville is a beautiful community and we don't need excuses as to why it's not looking at its best when we know how gorgeous and amazing this community is. So keeping an open line of communication with them is, I think, a priority, but also getting someone from South Texas, from this area, on the TxDOT commission, I think is imperative. Getting someone on there so that we have a seat at the table. We always have someone fighting for our causes and our needs down here, because we are growing. We are one of the 5 largest MPOs in the state of Texas, and we need that access. We need that seat at the table, and that seat is open. So we just need to work with the governor to make sure we can get someone from South Texas in that position.
Great. What would be your response if abortion clinics pop up all along the Mexican border towns?
Well, before SB8, we didn't have that issue. And before some of the abortion clinics that we had down here, there was probably maybe 1 or 2 in total. So we've never had an issue like that in the past. I don't see that happening in the future. But there are no abortion clinics south of San Antonio, to my understanding.
Oh, there is. I think the concern is that they'll start popping up in Mexico, and
Oh,
and I think and again, one of the things that we were talking about was in regards to healthcare, which is one of your top priorities. I think one of the issues and why our numbers are so high here in regards to individuals not being insured is because a lot of our folk can't even afford to have to pay for healthcare. It's just so very very expensive,
mhm,
even with the Affordable Cares Act. With that said, a lot of our people here in this area they tend to go to Matamoros
right.
get healthcare. And let me tell you, some of the medicine in Matamoros is 10 times better than a lot of the medicine that you get prescribed here locally. As the one of I think the concerns for a lot of individuals are being able to pay for the healthcare in regards to economic development. We need better paying jobs here. We have the resources that any other city out there would desperately want to have. We have a port, we've got airports, we got beaches, we got international bridges. How do we get economic development, good paying jobs coming to this area?
I think a lot of economic development is coming to this area. We just need to encourage more of it to come down here. But at the same time, in order to do that, what we need to do is make sure that we have the trained, skilled, and educated workforce to really attract those jobs. And I think a big part of that is bringing the job skills training back into our high schools, middle schools, K through 12. We used to have mechanic shop and welding and home ec and carpentry, a lot of
Yeah.
those skills in our high schools, and they're not there anymore. Now, a lot of schools are doing what they can to work with our community colleges to have those certificate programs and do the dual credit training, which is amazing. But we need more of it. We need that training at those levels. So when individuals who can't go to a 4-year college or don't want to have the ability to get a higher paying job once they enter the community and leave high school right away so that they can support their families and raise out of poverty.
Good. Philip asks if she promises to give us her direct number to get a hold of her, well, or when we need her and we don't get the runaround later by leave a message. Crap. And let me say, as someone who has his number out there publicly, for everyone out there, let me say that a lot of the times for a lot of folks, and I'm not trying to answer your question, but a lot of folks, they desperately need a staff. Remember, guys, we're not talking about a candidate that's going to represent us locally. And I dare challenge anyone out there to share with me our mayor's phone number, and going to almost guarantee you that 99.9% of y'all don't have it. And with that said, you require staff, individuals out there that are going to be helping you out in regards to answering a lot of the questions that need to be answered. But what I would hope is to have that open door policy in any time anyone does have a concern, the concerns are going to be answered. Is Morgan Lamantia going to be out there in the community?
Yes, so I'm out there in the community every day, and I hope to be able to meet each one of you. And if you ever see me, please come up to me. I'd love to hear about the issues that affect you and your families that you need addressed. The best thing, the only way a senator is going to be a good senator, represent their district, is if they have that open line of communication. Because if we don't know the issues that are facing you, we don't know what you need and what to be able to fight for. So having that open line of communication, always being accessible to everyone in the district, I think is imperative. So if you see me in the district, please come up to me, talk to me. I'm always there. But also, we have an office here on 13th and Madison in Brownsville. Come by anytime. And we're available. It's accessible through social media. And if I can't reach out to you right away, I will get back to you shortly. So please reach out.
You're a good speaker, Cheese, but you have the habit of asking a question and giving your opinion. It's kind of hard not to, bro. I've been doing
You're pulling a Fox.
Huh?
You're pulling a Fox News.
I'm doing the Fox News. I'm sorry. I'm very opinionated, and everyone knows that.
Quick question though, going back to the whole trade schools and whatnot. But you also mentioned helping the teachers and trying to, I guess, attract more teachers and raising their wages. How would you, I guess, accomplish that task of like raising their wages, and to what point? Like, where would you? What's like the, I guess, the starting wage for a teacher? in your point of view?
So the wages of teachers changes from school district to school district. Not a single school district has the exact same wage. I think if we're going to, what we need to do is make sure schools are properly funded and work with our school districts so that they understand that wages for the teachers are the number one priority. And we need to get those wages up because we need to become more competitive because the pipeline for new teachers is drying out. So we need to make sure we're attracting more teachers, to more people to become teachers, but also teachers to come down to our areas or to stay here and teach our kids in South Texas. And so that means we're going to need to compete with some of those bigger cities. So what I propose to do is do a study and see what teachers are being paid across the state of Texas in different school districts, where we're losing teachers to, and find a good salary that would work for our area, that is affordable for our area, that helps with the standard of living, and that makes sure that teachers have the pay that they need to support their own families and really make a career out of it. But also make sure that schools are funded so teachers aren't forced to pay out of pocket for supplies for their classrooms because the school can't help pay for those. So it's a two-part project, and I think we need to just get on that road and start moving in those directions.
Well, comparing it with the workload that they do as well.
Yes, no, their workload is immense. They have so much going on. They have so much new reporting and new rules and regulations that they need to follow. And during COVID, there was a organization called Children at Risk, and they did a study of all the schools in the state of Texas and showed that the Rio Grande Valley and South Texas had the most pandemic resilient schools in the entire state. And that's compared to Dallas and Houston and San Antonio. And the reason for that was because our teachers went above and beyond. They reached out not just to their students, but to their students' families and made sure they understood the technology, they understood what was needed and what was going on. And I think we need to reward our teachers down here because they're amazing and they're passionate. And we need to encourage those acts and them going above and beyond and not just stomping it out with more work and less pay.
Perfect. Let me say that one of the, I think the big concerns is that teachers always get promised increase salary, increase wages, get more money for teachers, but it just hasn't come into fruition. A lot of the individuals that are running for the seat that you're running for have actually been in office and have made the same promises multiple times, and it just hasn't come to be. How are we going to increase salaries for our public education, for our teachers down here?
It comes down to funding. We need to make sure that education is a priority at the state legislature. We need to make sure that we are fully funding our public school education system. And we need to work with our school districts to make sure that a lot of that funding is going towards the teacher salaries. And I think a lot of school districts understand that need, and teachers do as well. And so as long as the funding is there, I believe we can get there. But we need to work together with our teachers, with our school districts, with our school presidents, but also with our state legislature, and make sure that it's a priority on everyone's list.
Perfect.
Would it be possible to sorry to interrupt. Would it be possible to just have it like a raise, like a minimum for a teacher's salary, and have that like across the board?
I think that's an option that we definitely need to look into. We need to see how teachers are being paid across the state and see if there is a minimum that we can apply. Now, obviously, we don't want to apply a minimum that's going to put some of the some schools at lower than what they are currently paying their teachers and allow them to go lower if they wanted to. But we need to find that minimum, and we need to, if that's an option to Band-Aid it, we need to look at that.
Because and that's not being skeptical or saying names, but if they were to fund just the school districts directly, that the top people are going to get the first slice of the pie.
Well, if there's a way to earmark it and make sure it goes to the teachers, that's definitely something I want to look into.
I got a couple of questions. Actually, I got a couple more come in. But let me say, one of our concerns here locally is that I think a lot of our local elected officials have pocketed the resources that should go to our community. I mean, it's happened at the city level, it's happened at the district level. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of our teachers are frustrated and demoralized because there's never any money. but we see constantly a lot of individuals being taken to jail. A lot of the FBI doing a lot of investigations. Henry Cuellar got visited last week or 2 weeks ago, and I just make mention of that because it's been in the news. But I think a lot of us here locally feel that our local elected officials have also failed our community by pocketing the resources that should go to the people of Brownsville. With that said, do we expect a candidate up at the state level, up at that level, as they're joining the outcry of the people at our local communities in regards to the disgust of monies being diverted to things that should not be diverted to?
Well, I think the best thing that I can do at the state level is always be transparent. When there are funds that are coming down to the district to be used in a certain way, to always make that very clear how much money is coming down, where it's going, and where it's supposed to go. And then, as the local and the community members, for y'all to see, is it actually going there? And if it's not going there, we need to have that discussion, and we'll sit down with those community leaders and find out why it was diverted, because the funds were intended to go to a certain project or a certain area. And if they're not there, we need to follow up and make sure that we have an answer as to why. Because being transparent and being clear and answering questions, even if they're difficult, is the way to go.
What about cannabis? Legalizing cannabis?
Cannabis as in hemp, or are we talking about THC marijuana?
Do you support legalizing cannabis and cropping hemp 10 times stronger than steel to make goods and products?
So I believe when we're talking about hemp, that is legal in the state of Texas. Now it's legal up to a certain level of the THC strength, but it is currently legal to grow and make products and goods and to sell those products.
I think a lot of us here are very supportive. She for auditing school districts, and I think you mentioned this already in regards to monies. Agree everyone's salaries, but without burdening immediate paying more taxes. I think we addressed this, but you could do a quick one.
Right. The point is that we need to just divert more of the state funds to the school districts. I'm not talking about raising salaries. I'm just talking about reallocating the current budget.
Perfect.
I'm raising taxes, excuse me, just reallocating the budget.
Yeah.
You also mentioned on your website about issues regarding weatherization, and making sure that the expenses from the power grid, whenever it goes down, not to trickle down on the customers. How can we make that happen? Like, for it won't, like, that way people don't get like $500, $600 bills whenever the lights go out and whatnot.
Right. So what we saw there, in my opinion, was price gouging. And during the pandemic, we saw our county judges put out statements and letters saying, beware price gouging. Price gouging is illegal, especially in emergency situations. But for some reason at the state level, they allowed that price gouging to happen, and it affected families and small businesses. And some of them even had to close because those electric bills were just skyrocketing and just increasing by thousands of percent. So I think we need to cap that. We need to make sure there are rules in place and regulations in place to prevent that from happening. And if it is to happen, that it does not come down on the individuals, the family members, and the small businesses in the state.
Perfect. One of the things that I think a lot of the candidates now is, require the support of the people, and individuals going out there and becoming part of the electoral process. But with that, we come to the realization that there's a lot of folks that are already in different seats in different offices, that offer their endorsements. Can you mention the endorsements that you've received from legislators here in the Valley or here in our area?
Yes. So I've received endorsements from the Texas Association of Firefighters, as well as the Brownsville and Harlingen Firefighter Department, and also recently the Texas Parent PAC. I've also received endorsements from all of our South Texas House delegation, and I was very humbled and honored to receive those endorsements. I believe I earned those endorsements from sitting down and listening to them and asking questions about what they see the community needs, and showing that I'm going to be a collaborative leader with a regional outlook to help make sure every single one of these districts gets what we need, and that we make sure to take care of our communities and our families.
I'm very impressive. Very impressive because these are a lot of the same organizations that are very dear to our heart here locally, because they are, we consider them our local heroes, especially our firefighters and a lot of our local folk. But let me ask, what separates Morgan Lamantia, and what separates Morgan Lamantia from the other individuals who are interested in the same seat, that are fighting for state Senate seat?
So I think what sets me apart is that I'm not a politician. I am a regular South Texas that's hardworking and wants to do what's good for our families and our communities. I have a business background where I look at data and the facts and make decisions for our 1,200 employees and our company that's in their best interest. I've also have a healthcare background. I'm not just talking about theory. I've worked in the healthcare industry, worked with doctors and hospitals and the insurance companies to help increase our benefits for our employees, lower their premiums, lower the costs, and avoid surprise billing and endorsement and surprise bills and hidden fees. But also, I've worked with nonprofits in the community, but also our own Family Star Scholarship Program. And with that program, we've worked with school districts and higher education facilities to help make sure kids in this community have the ability to go to college if they want to. So I think that sets me apart from others in this race.
Sam, any other questions, Sam?
Going back to the TxDOT when they were because I know you were also one of the issues regarding the having broadband throughout the valley, and going back to TxDOT, instead of having people like going out to go check out like the sites of the highway, wouldn't it be a lot easier just to have like those remote cameras all over the highways, just to kind of give it a quick glimpse and be like, okay, it needs to get cut, send out people, and that's it? Would you think that would be better?
You're asking about broadband, or?
Because that's what I understood from your page, from the issues. Is that what you're meaning of the like having accessible broadband for like the community?
Yes, we need accessible broadband for the community. I think that should be a priority. It comes down to a funding issue as well, and because we need that broadband connection for education, for telehealth, for telemed, and for our economic development and businesses.
Okay, and then on that same note, to the TxDOT, instead of because they had mentioned like the TxDOT takes a while before they get notices of having like the grass out of like super high or super tall grass. Would it be easier to have like those I guess Wi-Fi cameras on those light posts to kind of like keep watch on those grasses, that way there's no grass fires? Do you think that might be an idea for the future? To keep it
right. I think those cameras, if they can be used for that, that'd be ideal. But at the same time, we know how fast grass grows. We know the growth rate of grass. We know it grows faster when it rains. And so I think it can be scheduled and maintained on a regular basis without needing constant monitoring.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's really cool. It's a lot more
or literally stopping by.
Yeah, a lot less literally stopping by. A lot less formal than a lot of the other forums, Esther. But we wish you the best, guys. Please go check out Morgan Lamantia's page on social media, also a website, and click on there and ask more questions. And find out about all the candidates, vet all candidates out there, become a part of the electoral process, guys. The only way that we're going to get individuals into office and then be able to hold them accountable is if we become part of the electoral process. And by that, guys, please make sure you get anyone that is 18 years old and eligible to vote, get them registered to vote before the deadline. Go out there and volunteer a couple of your hours a week, hold up a sign, offer to share a sign at your home, wear a shirt, a name tag, something, but become a part of the process, because it's easier to come online and start bitching and complaining about everything that's wrong with their community. It's until the day that you become a part of the solution is that everything is going to be okay. And you become a part of the solution by being a part of. And being on social media is great, and on Twitter and on Facebook, it's what's made me the king of all local social media. But if you don't put boots to the ground, it's just words, guys. And please, go reach out to all the candidates, vet them, find the candidate that you are willing and wanting to support, and make a change. And the change starts with you. Not Sam, though. Sam too. Guys, have a great day. Again, look for Morgan Lamantia's page throughout social media. And, she always has the door open here since we're neighbors. has the door open. Stop by anytime. We're here at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you so much for having me.
Guys, social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer. If you still believe in all that crap, I'm done with it. But you go for it. Guys, tonight at 9 p.m., we should be mentioning the city of Brownsville's issues with hiring individuals without going through the proper process. But we'll see what comes out of it. We have received the open records request that we submitted from the city, and it doesn't look good. But hey,
it's going to be worth the wait.
It's going to be worth the wait. I know we promised it last night, but Frank was on, but it'll be great. And again, to the other candidates out there, guys, open invitation. And I appreciate Morgan Lamantia reaching out and saying, hey, give us some time. Great. It stays open. Anytime, every time you want to come over, come on over, and we'll have a show. But to all the other candidates out there for any race, even those that are running against me, you're welcome to come on anytime, guys.
Don't forget to like the page.
Yeah, guys, have a great day. Again, have a great day. See you tonight at 9 p.m. Guys, be good to each other, and please continue to be good to me. God bless.